What it do, YouTube? MGM for life here, and we're gonna be doing some more OU battles. I was trying to ladder, but the ladder on Showdown is all fucked up. And it reminded me of her. I remembered why I wasn't laddering to begin with. But anyway, we got a battle here against some guy's team. Looks like a offensive Sun team. So we'll just get into the battle. So I led off with Landers. Felt like it was the best lead, and right off the bat, I make a very stupid mistake. Go for the U-turn, expecting him to switch, but I saw his team, and there's nothing on his team that really wants to take an Earthquake, so I should have just went straight for Earthquake. I don't know why I didn't. But now I'm just thinking about what I want to go into, and I decided to go into Mew. Hopefully he won't go for the Fire Blast, but obviously it does go for the Fire Blast, and it does a shit ton of damage, obviously because it's in the sun, and Ninetales has pretty good special attack. Now he's going to go for the Nasty Plot, which is fine by me. I really don't care about Mew. I felt like Mew was my most expendable Pokemon looking at his team, so now I'm just going to go for the Volt Switch, expecting him to kill me with Fire Blast, but again, I don't know why he went for Nasty Plot, because he saw that my Landers outsped his Ninetales, so I really don't know what was the point of that, but now I'm just going to go back into Landers, go for Earthquake like I should have done, and it's going to be a dead Ninetales. If I had been playing more OU battles, I wouldn't have made that mistake, and there's a couple other mistakes I made in this video that you'll see later. So now I'm just going to Earthquake the Deoxys defense. I expected him to go for Stealth Rocks, and I figured Earthquake would be a 3-hit KO on the Deoxys, so the worst, in my mind, he was going to get Stealth Rocks and then Spikes, and he would be dead. But instead, he goes for Trick Room, which was very surprising. And then I Earthquake the Ferrothorn. I didn't even notice that it didn't have leftovers. So I'm gonna switch to Conkeldurr. As he misses the Power Whip, and I'm just like, okay, whatever. Let me go for the Payback. I went for Payback, expecting either Deoxys or Victini, thinking that he wouldn't want to take a Drain Punch. But that Power Whip does a fuck ton of damage, so I'm like, oh my god, that's Choice Banded, and that makes a lot of sense since there's no leftovers or no item that I can see, and then he went for Trick Room, so Choice Banded Ferrothorn packs a lot of punch with that Power Whip, but I'm able to take it out with a Mach Punch and still survive the Iron Barb's damage. Now I'm gonna go for the Payback on the Deoxys. He goes for Recover. Then that's not really going to do much for him because he goes right back down to where he was before. And now I'm going to pay back again. Excuse me. And I'm going to get crit, but I don't really think that crit mattered. The first one did 52%, and that was average is like 52 or 54, so that crit didn't really matter. So now I'm going to pay back this Victini, as I'm going to be faster because he did not get the Trick Room up, and I expected to be faster than Victini. Knowing that he's running a Trick Room team, he probably runs no speed EVs plus minus speed nature. So now I'm deciding what should I do, and I figured Conkeldurr was going to be a little bit more useful, so I figured that Jirachi was the most useless Pokemon looking at his team, and I'm going to let that die. Then I'm going to go to Gliscor. Gliscor. I'm going to go for the Protect to stall out the Trick Room a little bit, as well as get my Poison Heal and Toxorb activated so I can get Poison Heal, and then basically I'm just gonna hope that I can take a V-Create. Seeing that he has leftovers and that he's not Choice Banded, I know I can take one, and then finish him off with an Earthquake. If he was Choice Banded, I definitely would have been demolished by that V-Create, but luckily he wasn't. So now he's going to go out into his Rhyperior, and I think he just runs away here because all his main sweepers are gone. So that was a better team than the teams I played last time, but still not the best team. So now I'm going to look for another battle, and oh yeah, here we go. This was against a really good team, and this is what I was showing you. Like if I had been playing for OU for a while, I wouldn't have made some of these mistakes that I made. So I led off with Rotom, expecting him to lead off with Politoed. So he's gonna switch out into Tentacruel. I guess, I don't know, to take a Volt Switch, I guess. Now I'm going to switch into, I wanted to switch into Mew, but I knew his Tentacruel had Rapid Spin. I just didn't want to deal with it, so I'm going to go on to Landorus. I really wanted to Earthquake, but he did have Bronzong and Dragonite and Tornadus, so I just decided to U-turn, expecting him to go out to his Bronzong to get up his rocks. So what I'm going to do here is I need to get rid of this Bronzong because it's a big threat. It's the only thing stopping my Landorus from really just Earthquaking everything. If I get the Stealth Rocks up, my plan was to just get the Stealth Rocks up and then Earthquake everything, because if he switches into Tornadus or Dragonite, they'll still be hurt by Stealth Rocks, so I really won't lose that much. So basically, I needed to get this Bronzong out the way, so I went into Rotom, I burned it with Will-O-Wisp, and now I'm just going to Hydro Pump it, get some big damage off on that thing. I went first, but the replay messed up here, or the game messed up, and I get the Toxic first and then Hydro Pump. Then he hits me with Toxic. I don't know really what happened there, but now I'm just gonna Volt Switch out of here and finish off the Bronzong, which is a big threat to my Landorus. And now that thing is gone. It's not really a threat. It's just kind of an annoyance. And now I really don't know who to go into. Probably should have just Hydro Pumped so that I could just Yeah, I probably should have just hydro pumped it now that I think about it instead of going for a volt switch because now I'm kind of stuck. And now this is where that was one mistake. Now I make two mistakes back to back. I stay in, let Mew just get destroyed, but I'm pretty sure that was a Specs hydro pump. I wasn't even thinking about Specs Polytoad because most of the Polytoads are defensive, but that's definitely Specs hydro pump because Scarf hydro pump would not OHKO me. So now I'm just gonna go out into Rotom. So he misses a hydro pump, and that hydro pump would have done a fuck ton of damage, even though I am specially defensive. Then I get a crit on his Polytoad. The crit did matter. I mean, the miss definitely mattered. The crit didn't matter as much because he was probably max special attack, max speed, so that Vulturous would have done a lot anyway. Then I could have just gone out into Landorus and U-turned or Stone Edged or whatever I wanted to do on him. So now I'm going to go out into Gliscor. Am I going to protect? No, I'm going to switch straight into Jirachi. I'm expecting the Hurricane, and he does go for the Hurricane, so that's fine. The problem that letting Mew die is now I don't have any Stealth Rock, so Dragonite is a big threat, and Tornadus is a big threat as well. So I'm going to Thunder Wave his Jirachi. Or just on the way of expecting a switch. I kind of expected him to go into Tentacruel, honestly. But I guess he didn't do that just in case I was sub-Calm Mind. Then I could just thunder his thing to death. So now I'm going to U-turn, expecting either Tornadus or Tentacruel to come in. I didn't really expect him to go into Dragonite just because he knows I packed Thunder Wave. And if he's not Lumberry, he really doesn't want his Dragonite to be statused. So I'm going to U-turn out, go into Rotom. And basically here, I know he's going to have to go for the Focus Blast. I'm pretty sure this is Specs Tornadus, just because why not run Specs Tornadus? He's going to go for the Focus Blast. It's not going to take me out. Then I'm going to Volt Switch, do a lot of damage to the Tornadus. And now I'm just going to go out into Gliscor because now I know that I know he's definitely Specs now, looking at that damage to my specially defensive Rotom. So now all I have to do basically is just go for the Aerial Ace. But I guess he decides to quit. I guess he didn't want any part of my Gliscor. But after that, what he didn't know was my Gliscor doesn't have Ice Fang. So actually his Dragonite was still a big threat to me, but I'm guessing he quit because he kind of expected that my Gliscor did have Ice Fang, so Dragonite really wouldn't be able to do much. Gliscor can just Earthquake, Tentacruel, and can take out his Jirachi as well. So I guess that's why he quit. So now we got another battle against another decent team. I let off with Landorus again. I'm gonna U-turn out, and then I'm gonna go into Mew. I know this Aerodactyl is either gonna Taunt or Stealth Rock first turn, so I figured getting the Intimidate off on it was gonna be the best, so that my Pokemon can take it better. So now he's going to go for the Stealth Rocks. No big deal. I'm just going to Volt Switch out, kill that thing. And I think this is another mistake that I made. I went into Gliscor because had he gone into what is that, Cloyster and just Shell Smashed, I would have been in some deep doo-doo. But he didn't. Luckily for me, he did not. Spoilers. I think he goes into Latios. Yeah, he does go into the Latios, and I can just protect. And whenever you see a Latios, you automatically assume it's Specs until they show you otherwise, which probably is a bad assumption to make. But most Latios are Specs. So he's going to double switch. That was a good double switch. Probably expecting my Rotom to come in, either my Rotom or my Jirachi, honestly. But it's fine because I have the the Breloom counter, as he's going to go for the Bullet Seed. Get 2, I believe. And that Bullet Seed did a lot of damage. Breloom is just too powerful. But I do have Aerial Ace, and I do have Speed EVs to outspeed those annoying Breloom. So I OHKO that thing with an Aerial Ace, and that's why I have Aerial Ace on this Pokemon. So now he goes into the dreaded Cloyster. I know he's going to attempt to Shell Smash in my face, so what I'm going to do is, one, hope that Earthquake will do at least a good amount of damage after the defense drop from Shell Smash, and at 40% is kind of pitiful. I mean, I know Cloyster has a lot of defense, but 40% is still pitiful, but it's good enough. So now basically what I want to do is I wanted to save Gliscor because he does have Terrakion and Scissor left. I don't want to go into Conkeldurr because I can just Mach Punch him after the minus defense drop, plus me being adamant. I figured I could take it, but I go into Conkeldurr. That was kind of stupid. I guess I didn't really know, because I didn't really want to go into Jirachi. That was my first initial thought, to go into Jirachi, but I still need something to check that Latios. So I just had to go into Conkeldurr, hope he could take one, and then finish him off with a Mach Punch. Now what I'm going to do here is just leave Conkeldurr in because I really don't need him anymore, as he's going to surf me. I survived that, and I'm going to go for the payback and take out the Latios. Guess he didn't want a Draco Meteor because I still had the Jirachi at full health, so he was kind of wary of Draco Meteoring. Now here, I made another mistake here. Should have just stayed in and Drain Punched, just on the off chance that it was Swords Dance, because I was pretty much thinking he was going to go for the Superpower. In my mind, he was going to go for Superpower, expecting it to be Bandit, but there is a high possibility that it's also Swords Dance, so I should have just stayed in and just Drain Punched, got a huge damage off on it. But instead, I make another mistake, go just straight into Gliscor, as he does Swords Dance in my face, and he shows to be Life Orbed. That that bullet punch did a fuck ton of damage, and I didn't go for protect there because I didn't want him to predict my protect and go for another soldier's dance, because then I would have been in some really serious trouble. So now I'm just going to go into Landers with the intimidate ability. I am going to be able to survive a bullet punch, but that did a shit ton of damage. God damn, Scissor. And basically now he's just going to run away because that's the game. So those are some quick couple of matches. I have been laddering, but the ladder is so inconsistent. It's so annoying. But that's going to do it.